going to enter this?
This is actually the science of weight gain, actually. You can find out, we are told, by various indicators, which man is destined to get a beer belly. Now, we have 3 good volunteers downstairs, each one of them fit, each one of them young, but by talking about various indicators and parts of their lifestyle, we can tell which one is most likely to gain a beer belly first. And we're going to take you through this quiz.
What do you do with that news? Well, I don't know.
You try to change your lifestyle and keep the weight off. If you already have a beer belly, stay away from pizza. I can tell you that.
Diane?
All right, Robin, so all you out there, are you ready to face your future? Beer belly or no beer belly? We already know, and we'll tell you.
Good morning, America's Summer Weight Loss Challenge. We have teamed up with Men's Health Magazine to challenge America's heavyweights to get in shape. In a moment, you're going to meet 3 athletic guys. They are right here, all standing in front of curtains. And there's new science that can tell us which one of these guys is destined first to develop a beer belly. There are indicators that can tell you whether or not you have or should have worries about putting on weight. But before we get to that, Clara Spencer is going to tell us why men should care whether they develop a beer belly.
How would you describe your boyfriend's body?
Perfect.
Okay, well, she wasn't lying. Thank you very much.
Okay, nice abs, but let's get real here. They're both ballet dancers. The rest of us, we have to deal with the normal male form, and according to most women, it ain't pretty.
He should really have his shirt on.
He should get a citation for that.
Yeah, exactly. He's not Why do they do that?
I don't know. Which part of a man's body do you least like to see a couple extra pounds?
I think on the tummy.
The belly.
Big beer bellies.
76% of women agree. Men, get rid of that beer belly.
I say beer belly, you say... Yuck. I say love handles, you say...
Ugh.
And who named them love handles? 10% of women hate them.
It's gross. It's I mean, when it oozes over the shorts or the pants, again, and when they're not wearing the shirt. Why do they do that?
Some say their biggest gripe is, shall we say, male cleavage.
If I say male bosom, you think...
Breast reduction.
They're pretty disgusting.
That's not good.
Forget about it.
A few women have their own unique beefs about bulky men.
The lower back.
Ooh.
Gross. Cellulite on the back of their legs when they're running.
Ooh.
Stubby fat fingers.
What do you...
It's not sexy and I don't want him touching me.
And some women aren't kidding around. 9% say obesity should be allowable grounds for divorce.
Is that grounds for divorce?
Of course.
Of course.
He's not the man you married. Of course it's grounds. 15 pounds and over is grounds for divorce.
But in truth, maybe women are jealous. Almost half of all men say they don't care what we think. They're not remotely self-conscious about their weight.
Do you ever work out?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I drink. You sit at a bar.
Nice muscles. You're working
See, there you
those
go.
very well.
Hey, careful now. They're talking about my people. Anyway, joining us now are 3 20-somethings who don't look like they have to worry about their weight at all. But maybe they should. There is science that indicates one of these fellas up here may have a beer belly inside, just waiting to ooze over his waistband in a few years' time. The question is, which one? And we're going to introduce you to all 3, and then you guess which one, and we'll tell you in the next half hour. Number 1 is Matt Hensey. He's a 25-year-old mountain guide from Seattle. He's just a tiny little bit under 6 feet tall. He's 170 pounds, fit, exercises frequently, and says when he's on his game, he drinks a case and a half of beer a week. You do? His father is also, his dad is fit and healthy. Now, number 2 is Charles Okoye. He is 23. He's a research analyst at a New York City bank. He's 5'9", 160 pounds. He says, he's a thirsty fella. He says he drinks about 8 cocktails and 12 beers on weekends.
Yeah, about right.
Okay. Doesn't diet, but he has no family history of obesity. And then there's Matthew Beckman, number 3. He's a 25-year-old marketing coordinator. He's 5'8". He weighs in at 180 pounds, gets plenty of regular exercise, has a low-fat diet. But there is a family history. His father has a beer belly. Okay, which one of these guys, based on the science that we now know, is more likely to develop a beer belly. Now, let me just ask you a quick question. Matt, you worried about putting on weight?
Not at all. I'm just worried for these guys.
That's a lot of beer on a weekend, though. 150 calories in a beer, roughly?
About that.
About that.
Yeah.
Don't drink light beer.
No.
All right. Charles, how about you?
I'm staying slim and trim.
Yeah?
Yep.
No worries about it?
No worries at all.
Don't think there's a Louis Anderson in you waiting to get out?
No chance. No chance at all.
All right. And Matthew, let me ask you, any concerns about putting on weight? Have you ever had a weight problem? Ever?
No, haven't had one. Don't really expect one, but these guys might later on. So
Very athletic?
I get out, do stuff. Try
All
to
right.
be outdoors.
It's not like the guy who says, I exercise by drinking.
Right, yeah.
No, no. Okay. All right. We will tell you about the indicators that indicate which one of these three guys may be inclined, may have a proclivity to put on weight. If you want to find out about your body mass index, by the way, or you want to join the summer weight loss challenge, you can go to our website, abcnews.com, and we'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us. Or weight gain, really, in this case, because we're focusing on the beer belly. Because fat on the stomach is especially dangerous. It's linked to 39 different diseases, and amazingly now science can predict which of these three guys that we introduced you to in our last half hour is most likely destined for a beer belly. We'll tell you which one. There are some simple questions you can ask yourself and determine whether or not you could get a beer belly. Also, a little bit later, coming up in this hour, a woman. So now we're going to continue with our summer weight loss series in conjunction with Men's Health magazine. Earlier you met three men in their 20s. I'm going to ask them a series of questions, and their answers will tell us which one is most likely to develop a beer belly in the near future. These questions give you an indication of whether you are prone, whether you have a proclivity to put on weight. Now, as we mentioned, Matt Hensey is 25 years old, a mountain guide, very fit. Charles Okoye is 23 years old. He is a financial research analyst with no family history of obesity. And Matthew Beckman is 25, a marketing coordinator who gets regular exercise and sticks to a low-fat diet. But trouble looms in the future of one of these three young men. All right, the first question. You're not supposed to eat food that has more than 2,900 calories a day. That's about proper for a man. We asked each of you, we went through with each of you your diets. Now, if you eat more than 2,900 calories a day, plus 2 points. 2,900 calories or less, 0 points. Okay, Matt? More than 2,900, less than 2,900?
I love food. I eat more than 2,900.
You do eat more than 2,900. Okay, 2 points. All right, Charles?
I work too much. Less than 2,900.
Less than 2,900, you stay at 0. And Matthew?
Less than 2,900.
You stay at 0 as well. Okay, alcohol carries a lot of calories, can have an effect on weight. If you have 2 drinks plus during the day, 3 points. 1 to 2 drinks a day, 1 point. If you don't drink, 0 points. Matt?
More than 2.
Whoa! You're up to 5 points. I can feel that belt loosening on you right now. Charles Okoye, how many drinks?
More than 2. I think I party too much.
More than 2. All right, 3 points for you. And how about you, Matthew?
I put back about 1 or 2.
About 1 or 2. So that would be just 1 point then for you. All right, regular exercise. If you exercise 3 to 4 times a week, that can decrease body fat. So we want to ask you how often you exercise. If you exercise more often than 3 to 4 times a week, we will take away a point. If you exercise 1 to 4 times, 0 points. If you don't exercise at all, it's going to be a +1. Matt?
It's part of my job. I work out more than 4 times a week.
You do?
Yep.
Okay, so you come down 1 to 4. Charles, how about you?
1 to 4 times a week.
You exercise 1 to 4 times a week. Okay, so you would stay then at 3. And how about you, Matthew?
I'm about over 4.
Over 4. All right, so you would then have -1. No, it stays at 0. Okay, stays at 0. All right. Stays at 0. Okay. How do you react to stress? Does stress make you eat? If it does make you eat, we're going to add 2 points. Does stress make you exercise? If it makes you exercise, we'll subtract 2. And if it makes you do both, we'll leave you at 0. How do you react to stress? Does it make you eat or exercise?
I go out and exercise, and I'll go home and eat, so I do both.
You do both. Okay,
Yeah.
you stay at 4. How about you, Charles?
It's more likely to make me exercise.
You do?
Yep.
Okay. Down to 1. Down to 1. Down to 1. Okay. I like the way these things click. Okay. And Matthew, how about you? How do you react to exercise? Does it make you eat, or does it make you do both, or does it make you exercise?
I exercise, then I go eat. So both.
So both. Okay. So you would stay then at 0. Body mass. It's an index of whether you are overweight. The body mass index indicates whether you're overweight for your body type. If you're overweight, and we calculated this with each of you. This is something we had to do before we got on the air. If it makes you overweight, +1. If you're not overweight, -1. How do you come out on that, Matt?
I am underweight.
Underweight. Okay, so we take off a point. How about you, Charles?
Not overweight, so underweight as well.
Underweight. Take off a point, you're down to 0. Let's get down to 0. Okay, there we go. And how about you, Matthew? Overweight, underweight?
I was told mine was a little high, so I'm overweight.
Okay, you're up to 1. Okay, and the final question, this is an important one, heredity. If your dad is thin, we're going to take off a point. If your dad is average, it'll stay at 0. If your dad is overweight, +2. Heredity is important. How about your dad?
My dad's thin.
Thin?
Yep.
Okay. Take off a point. How about you, Charles?
My dad's average.
Average? Okay, so you would stay at 0. How about your dad?
Dad's big man, so.
Add 2. A late comeback by Matthew Beckman. The man then most likely to develop a beer belly. Second most likely. Over here, Matt Hensey. And Charles, you're safe, it looks like, for quite a while. All right, as I mentioned, Dr. Nancy Snyderman standing by with me here. Is this solid science?
It's solid science. It's interesting. Matt can eat, he could probably eat 5,000 calories a day if he wanted to, because he exercises like crazy, and he needs those calories to fuel his body and everything he does. What it comes down to, whether it's light beer, no beer, the beer thing is a boondoggle, I have to tell you. If you're really worried about your diet and stuff, put the beer aside anyway, because the reason it's called beer belly is because beer does contribute to body fat.
Even light beer.
Yeah, it's a great marketing tool, but it's so much, there's no science behind it. But Charlie, like so many things in life, it comes down to genes. You have to look at your parents, and your dad's beer belly and his physique will very much be a little bit of your Damocles sword. So you don't have to be your father's physique when you turn to be 35 or 40, but you have to know what's waiting for you.
But you can't do anything about heredity.
Oh, no. But you work against it, which means you continue to exercise, you continue to watch your weight. Just know that therein lies part of your future. And minimize it. You don't have to buy into it. Minimize it.
Dad?
Charlie,
it was your
works
fault.
for all of us.
Dad, it was your fault. I'm going to get my father if it kills me. All right, thanks.
We don't want it to.
Thanks, gentlemen. We appreciate all of you being with us. And if you want more on our